Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brook Cafe. I'm Wendy. Thanks for coming in tonight and spending some time with us once again. Nice to see that the tropical storm Gabriel didn't hit us as hard as we were expecting over this weekend, and we're back. Well, next week is a very special week in the province. Everybody is heading to the polls. Tonight I got a special episode of Brook Cafe with interviews with both mayoral candidates here in Brook, and we're going to start things off with a conversation that I had earlier with candidate Donna Francis. Now, Donna was born and raised in Brook, and she's a graduate of Western Memorial School of Nursing. The majority of her career spent as a community health nurse, but she's currently employed as a regional health manager with Western Health. She's been involved with City Council for this past term and is now seeking the seat of mayor. Here's Donna Francis. Donna, thanks for coming and giving me some time today.
Good morning.
I know that when it comes to campaigning, there's a lot of legwork and a lot of time that's involved in getting out there and meeting the citizens of Brook, because while you've been sitting on council, I guess it's a little different to go door to door and talk to people and be out there so that they can ask you why you're running for mayor. Tell me about your first 4 years now on council, what that whole experience has been like for you.
Well, essentially, I guess the entire 4 years I have found it very frustrating, actually, being on council. Rewarding at times and very frustrating at other times. I think, like everybody, when you put your name out there and you want to go into council, you certainly want to go in to try and better the community, make some changes, and everybody has their own thoughts and minds, ideas when they go into council. When you get in on council, you do find that there's a lot of structure involved, there's a lot of day-to-day operations involved, and you know, sometimes you don't always get to put all of your ideas that you had forward. Throughout the last 4 years, we have dealt with some tough topics, some tough decisions have come our way. And at the end of the day, the majority of council is what sets the direction for the city. Sometimes your own personal opinion or thoughts or ideas goes against what the majority of council votes for. And you have to sort of deal with that and move forward and try and tackle other issues. So it's been a bit of a learning experience, how the city operates, how things take place down there, as well as learning a lot about politics and the democratic process, those sorts of things. So at the end of the day, at the end of the 4 years, you know, I was a little frustrated by my experience and trying to evaluate the last 4 years and decide what I wanted to do with the next 4 years. And I sort of decided I didn't really want to repeat the same council position that I had been involved with for 4 years. So I was either going to give up on it altogether or try and run for the position of mayor and try and lead the council into the next 4 years. And at the end of the day, I felt that I didn't want to give up on it. I wanted to keep on trying to move forward. I wanted to, all the ideas that I came into council with, I still wanted to work on moving forward for the city. So I made that decision at that time that I wanted to try and take the lead position. And instead of being a member of council for the next 4 years, which is extremely valuable, I wanted to try and lead the group into the next 4 years instead.
You mentioned frustration. Is that with some of the processes and procedures that are involved in municipal politics? Do you think that some streamlining is necessary? Would that have eased your frustration?
Absolutely, and I think sometimes we're regulated to death, and I know we need regulations, and I know the importance of regulations, but sometimes the regulations sort of get in the way of allowing things to happen that may be a little bit outside of the box, outside of the way that we normally do things. And you know, sometimes I just feel that we're regulated to death, and there's just a little bit more, we need more wiggle room, I guess, to be able to make decisions sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's council who sets the regulation, and we can open up regulations and make changes to them at any given time as well. The thing about all of the regulations, I find a lot of times, it's very unfortunate, it seems to me that we're paralyzed by fear sometimes. It's really hard to progress and move forward when everybody is fearful. Well, we can't do this because we've never done it for 20 years, or we've never done it that way. And I would really like to sort of open up the box a little bit. New thinking, new ideas, you know, we have never done it, but let's try it. Let's try to make it work instead of being fearful and saying it won't work. Give it a try, see what we have to do to move things forward.
Can you tell me what some of these new ideas are, or some of the things that you brought into council in the first place, and I guess the ideas and items that you didn't get to address, and in hoping of being mayor, that you would like to tackle?
Well, you know, all the issues I think are very much the same as a lot of the other candidates and everybody's platform, really community minded. I'd like to be able to have a better image of the city of Brook, improve the image of the city of Brook. We need to be able to deal with businesses on a better level. Sometimes we do hear a lot of negativity out there with how the city deals with businesses and residents who come in for permits, those sorts of things. So I think we need to look at those departments, see how we're running business, do more customer satisfaction surveys, maybe some training for staff down there and how to deal with the public. There's a lot we can do. And I'm not saying we're not doing a good job of it, but there's always room for improvement. The port is another idea. I think the port is one of our greatest assets here, and we do underutilize it. Again, no disrespect to the people who are running the port, because they're doing an awesome job. They're out there all of the time trying to seek out new opportunities for the city of Corner Brook. I think our role is very much a supportive one, but I think we need to be a little more actively involved in trying to seek out opportunities for the port. The port has had many opportunities come to us, but for some reason we can't quite get to the finish line sometimes with a lot of those ideas. That's something we really need to work on. It's a big challenge, but I think it needs to be very supportive role with the port, and we really need to encourage development in the port area.
One of the things that came about, I guess, as a result of the last council, a lot of people have talked about, the salary increase and the idea of a full-time mayor. Now, you're in management at Western Health. How would you be able to balance the idea of maintaining your job and being mayor of the city at the same time?
I don't think it's a full-time position. I don't think it requires a full-time position, and some people would disagree with that. I think it is, being on council for the last 4 years, so I just back up a little, is actually very, very time consuming. Even though the mayor has more role in the city, and there is a greater time commitment required, being on council for 4 years also requires some great time management skills. I know as women out there working in today's world and taking care of a home, you're used to multitasking. You're still trying to get the kids out the door. You're still trying to prepare the meals. You're still, all the while you're getting ready to go to a council meeting and make some decisions. I've been able to balance that in the last 4 years. I've learned how to balance it, and I think I've done a fairly good job with it. I understand that the responsibility of mayor is going to require more time commitment, and I'm in it. I'm committed to it for the next 4 years at least, or beyond. And I really think that I can balance it out and I can manage it all. I know there's a greater time commitment required as mayor, but I absolutely feel that I can do it and do a good job of it.
Your only opponent in this race is former Mayor Charles Pender, who has been out of municipal politics for the last 4 years. Do you think the fact that he was voted out the last time he ran is going to work in your favor? Do you think that people will be willing to just go with a fresh face with new ideas rather than somebody that they had in place before?
It's hard to say, and I haven't really given that aspect of it too much thought, to be quite honest with you. I'm just running my campaign as I am. People say that they want a change. Change is always difficult, though, for people to manage with. So even though people say they want a change, they don't always, the votes don't always reflect that, because people always go back to what's familiar. So you really have to go out there on a limb sometimes if you do want change to take place, and have the thinking, again, outside of the box, that new ideas can be good, new people can be good, fresh ideas, and I think it can really help progress the city forward. I know that this is the 4th time, I think, for the current mayor-elect running for mayor. I have been involved in the last 4 years as council. I think I've learned an awful lot in that time, and certainly am up to the challenge of mayor. As I said, in the last 4 years, we faced some difficult decisions. You need a strong leader. One of the key things that I look for, and my current experience on council will reflect that and bring me forward, is the fact that I think maybe I was a little underutilized as a councillor here. So when you have 7 people who come into a team, and if you take a team approach with a good leader, I think there's no end to what we can accomplish. But if I sit here and say to you, I will do this and I will do that, you have to understand it could be empty promises, because 6 councillors and the mayor make the decision and move the city forward. One person alone can't do that. So I think an open communication, a real team effort. I plan to, as mayor, utilize all of the 6 councillors and everything that they bring to the table. And I think when you do that and take that approach, that, you know, the ideas that we can come up with collectively and we function as a team moving forward, I think we can make a huge difference to City Hall, improve our image, improve how we do business, and at the end of the day, be very successful in our roles.
And the next 4 years could be a very interesting time here in the city of Corner Brook. We're talking about economic development. We need more industry. We've got water treatment, sewer treatment, huge infrastructure needs. You're not putting yourself forward at a point in time when it would be an easy ride in the city of Corner Brook.
Absolutely not. And, you know, almost anybody can manage things when times are very good. When money is flowing in and everything is working as it should, it's a lot easier to manage things. It's when times are tough that really builds character, and it's how you deal with the tough times and get a city through those tough economic times that would certainly make the difference. We've had changes to our municipal operating grants. We're in the middle of the province now trying to create a new fiscal framework for how we're going to be budgeted, how we're going to get money from the government. All those things are very important, and we need to find the best ways to use our dollars now, you know, effectively. And at the end of the day, when you speak to people, clean drinking water, sewer that works well, roads, infrastructure needs are the things that matter to people in their day-to-day lives. You know, people who you talk to door, is my guardrail falling down? Is my road going to get done? Those are the things that really mean things to people when you speak to them, even though we have to understand what the province is doing and all the bigger issues, infrastructure needs, recreation, all those sorts of things. Really, it's the people that live here in the community that we're trying to work for.
All right. Donna, thank you so much.
Thanks, Wendy.
And best of luck on the 24th.
Thank you.
At Pool Althouse, we've been serving the legal needs of Western Newfoundland for over 55 years. Whatever your legal needs, our lawyers are here to help.
Thistledown Florist, evolving floral design since 1960. Traditional, contemporary, or exotic, we bring it to life with style and elegance.
I got your back, big guy. Join us in our mission to help protect backs at work.
When you hear the ringing of the bell, you know another batch of Coleman's fresh bread is hot out of the oven.
Can you tell the difference between these two dogs?
They're both adorable, but their backgrounds couldn't be more different.
This dog came from a puppy mill, grew up in a dirty, barren cage without adequate food or care.
This dog was adopted from an animal shelter full of healthy, happy dogs of all types, breeds, and ages.
Buying a dog can perpetuate the cruel puppy mill industry, while adopting a dog saves lives and guarantees you aren't supporting puppy mills.
So be part of the solution.
Think carefully.
Choose wisely.
Love deeply. Dogs are for life.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Well, before the break, I had a conversation with our councillor, Donna Francis, and now here's the second candidate for mayor for next week's municipal election, Charles Pender. Charles, of course, has worked for 30 years as an educator here throughout the province, 20 of those years in Corner Brook. He was elected to Corner Brook City Council in 1997, re-elected in 2003, and in 2005 became our mayor. Charles Pender is seeking re-election. Here's a conversation that I had with him. Charles Pender, nice to see you once again.
Nice to be back.
I know for a period of time having you visit us at the cafe was a pretty normal thing to do, but in 2009 your municipal, I guess, presence with the government here has taken a little hiatus. Why are you running again?
Well, I will say that after 2009 I didn't look at municipal politics at all. I turned away from it. I didn't even read the newspaper for the first year because after 11 years on council, it sort of gets into your system and you really need a break. And one of the best things that ever happened to me was to have that break. And over the last 4 years, I've been able to go out and do other things, working at the university and so on. And I think, you know, I've been able to see what's going on from a different perspective. And having had that opportunity, that other perspective, looking at, I guess, in the last year in particular, the number of things that happened that really sort of incited me to think, you know, maybe I should try this again, because I really didn't like this, what I saw going on and the stagnation that has been happening over the last 4 years. So I think it really started with the fire.